And that's the statement he gave way back when he received the Nobel laureate. So he indeed acknowledged and gave the right recognition to Zeiss that major part of his success was because of the excellent deliverables and the data what he was able to collect from the microscope. So the complete structure of the the tuberculosis causing bacteria was very well defined, and they were able to understand what could be the right medication or the right diagnosis followed with the medication, so that you can start addressing these bacteria, or how you can contain and control these bacteria so that it is not spreading across and you're kind of containing the infections of these bacteria as well. So it's not just with that, we are we are partners to a lot of manufacturing industries, and till date almost 36 different Nobel laureates, the Nobel Prize winners, have used Zeiss solution to achieve their dreams or to actually visualize what they have imagined. So alone, even for our day-to-day usage of all the recent and modern scientific equipments that we have in our hand. It could be from the communication, say for example, we are all witnessing this the uh, conference through the online platform using the smart devices. Almost 80 percentage of the microchips that is being used in any of your smart devices, either if you're using a laptop or a normal computer PC, or if you're using a smartphone, almost 80 percentage of the chips that goes inside the smart devices is by the optics that Zeiss supplies to the lithography, the lithography giant called as the ASML. And Zeiss is the pioneer when it comes to all was possible because of the reduction optics that was able to be, Zeiss was able to achieve along with the support of ASML. And that's the contribution that we do in the world of semiconductor, what Dr. Palaniswamy sir was mentioning some time back. The advancement that is happening in the world of semiconductor, it's Zeiss is also an enabling partner of whatever the feat the semiconductor industry was able to achieve. Zeiss was always part of it. And it's not only there. We are into the camera lenses. So if you remember the Apollo space mission, first time human landed on the moon, the camera and the camera lenses which they carried in order to capture some of the breathtaking images of the moon, in fact it was all Zeiss camera lenses. So it was very rugged, and it was highly, the customer confidence on the Zeiss camera lenses was pretty huge. And they carried two sets of camera lenses, and the best part was both the sets were Zeiss lenses. They never trusted any other lens manufacturing company. They just trusted Zeiss, and they took two sets of camera lenses for the Apollo space mission. And with the first set of lens itself, they were comfortably and confidently they were able to take all the images that the space expedition team captured on the moon. So that's something, it's kind of a historical achievement with respect to the quality and ruggedness of the Zeiss lenses. Again, it goes back to the optics, but again, that's where the trust as the Zeiss as a brand, as Zeiss as a manufacturer of lens, that's the trust and confidence that it was able to earn in the world of even the space aviations on space research as well. And yes, of course, it doesn't stop there as well. Even for the commercials, if you see most of the the recent movies, it could be Hollywood, or you take any Bollywood serials that comes in Z Network or Star channels, it's all shot in Zeiss lenses. That's why you are able to see, even if you're watching it in a LCD screen or big screens like 50 inches or 80 inches screen, you don't see any pixelization, and it's all crystal clear. It's all because of the Zeiss cine lenses that has been used in the cameras. And we have 10 Oscar nominated movies which has been shot with the Zeiss camera lenses. And yes, of course, maybe quick references: the complete Avengers series is being shot in the Zeiss camera lenses. And yes, of course, these are all something related to the commercials. We have our bigger business and bigger innovations and the support what we do in the healthcare industry. So we are well known in the world of ophthalmology. We manufacture different categories of surgical microscopes as well. So all the ophthalmology related, and even if it is dental, any uh, a surgical procedure assisted with the microscopy solution. Zeiss is in the picture, and you can see here roughly every year we make 3 lakh surgical procedures with one of the solutions from Zeiss. That's called the Kinemo 900. You can imagine just from one single surgical microscope, on an average, every year we perform 3 lakh or surgical procedures, and you can imagine we have roughly a dozen of other solutions as well, and you can calculate what is the level of contribution that Zeiss does in the world of healthcare as well. Yeah. So now let's come into the most important topic, which is in line to the conference, is with respect to what is that it is happening in the world of advancement in materials research. So when we say there is advancements and the recent solutions and innovations that is happening in the world of research and development, one thing is very important, that any of the solution providers or any of the scientific equipment manufacturers, they should also have some research wing. They cannot be just equipment manufacturers. If they are just equipment manufacturers, then they can be never on top of the table bringing in new technologies to the scientific world. It's highly impossible. But in the other hand, Zeiss is well known for the amount of investments and the amount of efforts that Zeiss takes in order to invest in research and development. And you can see these are all some of the the arithmetic numbers, which gives you much more idea of what is the level to which Zeiss is investing, both with respect to time, energy, and money on research and development, so that we always are proud and happy to say that we are innovators and we are the front runners when it comes to the advancements and innovations that is happening in the world of materials characterization. So on an average, every year we file 580 patents. So roughly, if you remove some of the the holidays, every day we file 2 patents. So that is the uniqueness of Zeiss. No other scientific industry has ever made this sort of patent publications, except for few from the semiconductor industry, because that's altogether a different ball game. But yeah, this is the level to which we keep filing the patents, and you can see the amount of investment that goes back for the research and development. Almost 13% of the revenue or the income that Zeiss makes every year, 13% goes back for research and development. So that's why we always have solutions, and many a times we used to say that the research requirements and the scientific requirements, what is needed 5 to 6 years down the line, that is actually needed in the market, we are already working on it. So even before the scientific community comes to open platform asking for some of the advancement that is needed for their research requirements, Zeiss is one of the company which should have already started working on. That they ensure that they have presence across the globe. Our headquarters in Oberkochen, Germany. We are roughly 32,000 employees, and we are located at 100 different locations around the globe, representing 50 different our footprint. And these are all our business segments. So yes, in fact, I did discuss about the role that Zeiss plays in the world of semiconductor manufacturing technology, with respect to the collaboration that we have with the ASML technology, and this is the level of revenue and the number of employees working on this. And yes, of course, the second major topic is where we talk about many a times on the materials research. It is industrial quality and research, wherein we talk about the research microscopy solution, all the other imaging and characterization techniques that is used for the materials characterization falls in this particular business category. And yes, of course, I was talking about the medical technology, all the surgical microscopes that we make for the healthcare sectors. And yes, the consumer market is what I was talking about, the camera lenses, sports optics, everything falls under this. So these are all the different segments that we have in Zeiss. And yes, of course, the research microscopy solution is what is very much focused on all the characterization requirement and the understandings of the property of the materials that you choose for any of your research applications. So this, you can see here, this is a single assembled lens that is used for the lithography process in the semiconductor industry, and you can see the footprint of this lens. And we are unique, and we are the, I would say, we are the only manufacturers who can bring down reduction optics, which is very much needed for the lithography procedures in the semiconductor industry as well. So it could be the photomask system or the process control solutions that gets into the semiconductor industry. We have the manufacturing. Even when we say the industrial quality research, all the automobile industry, or any modes of transportation, it could be automobile, locomotives, or it could be energy industries like windmills or power. So you take any industry and any manufacturing sectors, Zeiss as a very, very prominent, their importance in the quality and the endurance and the deliverables of the components that are being manufactured from any industry for that matter. Just to give you an example, you consider any modes of transport that you would have used or you're using on a daily basis. It could be a two-wheeler or a passenger car or any commercial vehicle. A minimum of 55 to 60% of the components that is used for manufacturing in the automobile industry, at one point of the manufacturing process, it would have definitely come under any one of the Zeiss equipment for the quality inspection. So that's the level of the footprint and the presence that we have in the world of manufacturing. I just gave automobile as an example. You can take it to any manufacturing. It could be pharmaceutical, even it could be food and beverages, or it could be I did mention about the aviation industry, or even it could be any strategic sector. You name any manufacturing industry, Zeiss has its own importance with respect to the quality assurance that is needed for any of the components that is being manufactured. And when it comes to the research application, that's exactly what we have been discussing, or what is the main objective of this conference, is on understanding the properties of the material by characterization. So you name any imaging technique, meaning using different sources. Yeah, you can use white light as the source, or you can use a single wavelength sources like laser, or even particle beams like electron, ion, and X-rays. And Zeiss is the only company which has different microscopes that uses sources like light, electron, ion, and X-ray. So no other company or no other industry in this planet who has this big portfolio of microscopes, which is very much needed for the materials characterization. Yeah. And yes, of course, I did mention about the medical technology. It could be diagnosis or therapeutic, systems that is used in the domain of ophthalmology, microsurgery, or even it can get into this, the intraoperative radiotherapy. And yes, of course, we are also getting into the surgical microscopes that is used in the dental industry, uh, orthopedic. So these are all the various segments within the healthcare sector where we supply all this high advanced surgical microscopes. And you would have heard, if I can say so, you would have heard of this robotic surgery or surgery with the help of robotic assistants. So Zeiss is also having lots and lots of advanced surgical solutions and equipments that can be used for these sort of the healthcare sectors as well. And yes, of course, I was talking about all the consumer optics, or the sports optics. It could be eyeglass lenses, accessories, camera lenses,